All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. And also, quick shout out for our friends over at Discovery Golf Cars, longtime friends of the program. If you're thinking about buying a golf car, I would highly recommend you talk to the folks over at discoverygolfcars.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman. They have new and used golf cars available, and they hooked us up with a beautiful Keller Williams red, and all the boys love going riding on. I used to say Charlie and Carter. Now I got to throw Brady in there because he loves it when I get him on the golf cart. They love going riding. DiscoveryGolfCars.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, we got a couple of hot listings we'll let you know about here in Tampa Bay. This property at 605 Monterey Avenue is a nice home. This is a beautiful property. It's centrally located in Pinellas County in Clearwater, kind of close to Safety Harbor as well. 605 Monterey Avenue, 3-2-bedroom. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,163 square feet, and you have a screened-in pool, private pool, and just a great floor plan, beautiful flooring, and a nice kitchen there on this property at 605 Monterey Avenue in Clearwater, Florida. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, let's welcome back in Executive Coach Sam Mckeown. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, Brandon. How you doing today?
Excellent. Blessed and highly favored, my friend.
Yes.
Thoughts and prayers for all of our folks and brothers and sisters over there in Israel dealing with this Middle East madness going on right now. Man.
It is madness. And, you know, we have some folks in our country who, you know, say that Israel should back off, that they should not be as aggressive, and that we should not support them. But here's the thing. Biblically, we need to support them.
Right.
You can go back as far as Abraham. When Abraham called God, he says, I will bless you, and I will bless those who bless you.
Right.
That was the foundation for Israel.
Yes.
And long before Islam, long before any of the other religions in the area.
Right.
And so the Jews are blessed by God. They are God's chosen people.
Yeah. Period.
The end. The other thing is the organizations that are coming against them. I don't know how many people know it, but Hamas on the Aramaic side is means zeal. Okay, but when you get into the Hebrew side, it means violence.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, my pastor's a biblical scholar, and he really researched it pretty good. But what a lot of people don't understand is that their whole mission in life, it's in their constitution, is to kill Jews.
Wow, it's unbelievable.
Exterminate Jews.
Teaching the kids that, too.
Yes, they are. Yes, they teach the kids that. And what people here don't understand is who's next.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you read the Quran,
it
is okay for followers of Muhammad to lie, cheat, steal, and kill infidels.
Yeah,
we're infidels.
They say it's for the greater good, right?
Exactly.
Like the means to the end or whatever, right?
It is.
Here's Ted Cruz's opinion on it as well.
Why do they want Palestinian civilians killed? Because they know the global media will use those civilian casualties to attack, to undermine, to demonize, to vilify Israel. That is an integral part of the plan. The corporate media is an integral part of Hamas's war plan. And right now today, CNN is Hamas's Air Force. MSNBC is Hamas's Air Force.
MSDNC, CNN, they're the Air Force for them. They're providing that cover,
the coverage,
just like they did for Biden with the election.
And without that coverage, they wouldn't be able to achieve as much as they did.
Right.
But are they willing to pay the price now?
Right.
And Netanyahu, all that's good and bad about him. He's made some mistakes over the years and stuff like that, but he's a very aggressive person.
Yeah.
And he says we will root them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going after them.
Yeah.
And looking at peace in the Middle East, when you have a nation that says you don't have a right to exist,
right,
you're never going to have peace.
Yeah, it's sad.
You're not. And that's what and it goes back to Yasser Arafat and a Palestinian Liberation Organization, right? It goes back a lot longer than most people remember.
Right.
And they've never wanted Israel to exist.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, the United States, when Israel was declared a nation, took us a whole 11 minutes to be the first country to recognize Israel.
Right.
And so we were the first one 11 minutes after the proclamation came
Yeah.
down. So, so we support Israel, and we need to stand with Israel.
Yep.
And people are going to die.
Yeah.
And they just are.
Well, you know what worries me right now, Sam, is we have this open southern border with crime, the drugs, the human trafficking. I mean, they're literally enslaving. I think, it kind of goes back to that movie as well. Help me with that movie if you guys think of it. But Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
It reminds me of that because now you just got a free reign for these people trading kids, of course, having sex with kids, pedophilia, which in California they want to rename that to minor attracted persons, not pedophilia.
Yeah,
that's
right,
what they're doing.
Right.
But, we got this open southern border now, and then you have the FBI suddenly saying now, well, hey, we've got to be careful. We got people coming across the border, and it's no longer just the white supremacists we got to look after.
Right. What was funny, I read an article here that they under Trump there was a period of time where they caught 4 terrorist people on terrorist watch lists.
Right.
And this last month I think they caught 100 or something like that. Okay.
Right.
And so they're saying that Trump didn't do a good enough job catching them.
Right. Yeah.
But
of course.
that Biden's doing a better job catching. There's just more coming.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they're slipping through. You have New York, and I didn't read the whole article, but the governor there says now that the migrant it's a problem, and they need to go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, Hochul,
Yeah.
And then you get Adams saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, when I was saying the white supremacy, I was saying that facetiously because that's what the government says. MAGA, Trump supporters, you are a white supremacist. Right. You're our biggest threat. Which, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
We're not the ones blown up. So, anyways, so let's talk a bit about the business side. So, tell me with your business experience, because you help business owners. You're an executive coach. You help them with mindset. You help them with strategy. What are you seeing out there? What's topical? How are your people? Because here we are going into Q4, right?
Right, we are. We're going into Q4, and this is when a lot of the planning for Q1 starts. And the problem is that a lot of business owners haven't looked at Q1, 2, and 3 to see where their numbers are. They're not aware of all their numbers, and so they're making projections based on wishes.
Yeah, exactly. I hope someday.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, but there's a few areas they need to start looking at, and they need to look at, number one, their digital footprint. And people say, well, yeah, I'm online. Are you?
Right.
Is your how many know that the Facebook algorithm just changed again?
Do an
just
audit.
again.
Yeah, you need to do
so
an audit on all
audit.
that.
Yeah. You got to stay current. It needs to be targeted. It needs to be topical. It needs, you need to be, and you need to take a stand. And then the other area is financial. You got to compare the financials. You can't wish your way through Q4. The holidays are coming up. Well, the holidays are coming up. What's going to happen? You had a gentleman on here. You were talking about the UAW strike and all this stuff. That the holidays are coming up. What's going to happen? Interest rates keep going up. Everybody's hoping that the Fed doesn't raise the rate again. Right. And indications are they may not. But there's all sorts of questions there. So, are your finances in line? Have you compared your Q1, 2, and 3 performances financially to what your budget was, what your top dollars were, and then Q4, what are you doing? What adjustments have you made? It's like a football game at halftime.
Yeah, that's right.
My stupid Eagles didn't adjust on Sunday. At halftime, and a loss like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, the team didn't play well, but there's a couple of coaches that should have their butts kicked too.
Yeah.
Right? That's just. I'm sorry. I'm an Eagles fan, but my Phillies won last night.
Well, you were the ones that were one of the last undefeated in the league until I guess apparently.
Against New York, no less. Anyway, but you have to make the adjustments.
Right.
You have to talk to your team. And another area that people don't want to face, especially with the holidays coming up, is personnel.
Yeah.
Who do you have on your staff? Who needs to go? Who needs to stay? And here's the thing. The closer it gets to the holidays, business owners have a tendency to put up with more because they don't want to fire somebody around the holiday.
During the holidays.
Well, then get off your butt and get it done now.
Yeah.
If you've got people who are not performing, you need to replace them with people who will perform.
Yeah.
And so you need to evaluate your staff.
Top grade talent.
Yeah. And maybe you just need to revisit the training.
Right.
I spent a ton of years in the restaurant business, and that was a number one deal was you hire people in, you get them trained, and then you let the training go.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how bad your service is. You don't realize, maybe the chef's not doing the job he should do. And so you have to reevaluate your employees and what are they doing, and then how do you if they were a good employee once, what happened to put them to a place where they're not?
Right.
What's going on there? So it's not just a matter of just coming in and say, well, Sally's not performing very well today. We probably better get rid of her. Why is Sally not performing very well?
Yeah, I think a lot of times business owners, especially small businesses, how busy we can get. We forget to ask the questions. Well, how's your family? How are things going? And then there could be something going on there that you didn't even ask about, and then that's carrying over into the business. So it's a challenge for people. Sam, what would be your top tip in that space then, as far as those in that employee retention, employee recruiting? I mean, always looking to top grade. You're looking to top grade talent, but
it's all about the conversation, and it's all about knowing how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And we've talked about DISC before and stuff like that, and so many businesses anymore don't do personality profiles to know how to communicate. And so I don't care what your personality profile is, because I know how I can sit down and figure out how to communicate with a person.
Right.
I think over the years, in all the years I've managed, I've never had one successful unemployment claim filed against me. I have never had a harassment complaint filed against me. And that's all because of communication.
Right.
Now, does that mean I haven't said things I probably shouldn't have? No, I'm no angel, right?
Right.
But especially when you work in bars and restaurants and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's about the communication. If there's an issue in your business, it probably boils down to communication.
Yeah, that's right. Communication is such a key element of any business. It's the number one feedback that home sellers have for their realtors is that, hey, this agent took my listing, and I very rarely, seldom ever heard from them. So communication is such a key element to anything.
And if you're in the sales process, absolutely. When we moved down here in 2017, we left Wyoming, and as we're leaving, the sales contract fell through on the house. Right?
Oh boy.
So anyway, but Bill kept in contact with me all the time. Now he was a friend, but I knew what was going on the whole time. He had everything taken care of. So, but the communication side of it is so it's essential.
Yeah,
it's essential.
Back on the market. Oh man, we actually just closed a deal that was under contract 6 times.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, we went through that.
Ouch.
Yeah, and buyer lost job, roof issue. Buyer lost. I think there was a couple times buyer lost a job. So the Bidenomics, maybe that's trickling down into that. But you see that happen. But here's another thing I wanted to just kind of touch on. You know who DC Drano is? You hear that name at all?
I've heard that name.
He's a big time social influencer. Rogan O'Hanley he's an attorney, I believe, out of Sarasota area, maybe down south. But anyways, it's about the gag order on Trump. He says, so he says Obama appointed judge issues gag order on President Trump. Just so we're clear, Biden gets to weaponize the DOJ to falsely accuse his top political opponent of serious crimes, drain him of millions of dollars in legal fees, pull him off the campaign trail, and potentially throw him in federal prison. And Trump can't even publicly defend himself during a presidential campaign. Banana Republic. So that's, kind of sums it up right there.
It does right there, what's going on. And, let's face it, the fraud trial, come on.
It's ridiculous.
Come on. How many people in Florida right now could be accused of fraud because their house is priced $10,000 over what it's really worth? Because that's what they're saying.
Yeah, and it's a victimless crime, and the banks made interest on the loans.
Yes, and they're paid for.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
Absolutely ridiculous. Sam Mckeown, always a pleasure having you in studio. Alive and at Peace Coaching. He's an executive coach, y'all. Reach out to the show hotline if you'd like to connect. Also, how do you want people to connect with you?
They can connect with me at samandaliveandatpeace.com. That's my personal email, or they go on the website at samandreadalive.com.
samandreadalive.com. Check him out online. Longtime friend of the program, and does a great job. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.
My pleasure, buddy. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with George Dotis. He's the manager of LBC. Awesome restaurant. They've got just a lot of fun stuff going on, different games, live music, really cool setup there, inside space, outside space, fun stuff going on, bounce house for the kids now I've seen over there. We're having our holiday party there. I wanted to bring him in and talk about that as well coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes, at CQB Show, Instagram and other sites. And, of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, Brandon Rhymes Realty. We'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.